What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. We're waiting on Anthony, the real Ant-Man. Is going to be appearing very shortly, so be patient. But we'll start the show without him.
Go ahead and start the show without
him.
Kind
of a change of pace. Usually they're waiting for me. Now we're waiting on him. So a little change of pace. He's the late one now.
Just a little bit of change of pace. Since he's not here, Pete, I saw some breaking news before we went live that happened within the last hour. Something's trending on Twitter. It says RIP NXT. Do you know what that is referring to?
Okay, so people who are not wrestling fans or people who are wrestling fans, so there's word now, rumors, or actually it's pretty I think
it's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
No, it's confirmed.
So let's so NXT is pretty much W's brand, their development brand. Pretty much they're almost like their third show in a sense. Kind of it's more professional wrestling, more per se, more indie kind of wrestling. It's pretty nice. It's pretty like alternative to the W what they do on Raw. Usually pretty much on Raw. It's really awesome wrestling. They do a great job building stars and all. They have for the last 7 years or whatever, or how long they've done this. Yeah, 7 years almost. Anyways, more than 7 years actually. Maybe in 2012, I think so. Yeah, so it's been a long time. So, anyways, they moved to Tuesday nights because they weren't competing with AEW. They were losing the ratings war. And so because of this, and the ratings hasn't really gotten any better, they're doing a rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H was so control over the whole thing. Triple H pretty much is his home baby. He ran this whole thing, but not anymore. Supposedly, the people now going to run this is Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, which pretty much means the NXT that or any NXT that people followed is pretty much gone. I think it's going to be sports entertainment, and which means I don't think everybody who's watching NXT is probably going to be not watching NXT anymore. Which means Anthony, who's a big fan of NXT, is probably not going to be watching NXT anymore. Unless somehow they still have, but I just don't see it. I think it's gonna, the people that work there who actually are really good wrestlers are probably pushed aside for other guys. It's gonna be bad, honestly. And I kind of saw this coming because I just know the way. In the end of the day, this is Vince McMahon's company, and Vince McMahon does what Vince McMahon wants to do. And speaking of,
what's up?
I don't know if you heard the news and all that, and
what news?
Yeah, Chris can bring it to you.
Mr. Vincent McMahon is now taking over NXT as producer.
Oh, I thought that was already a thing.
Well, it's now really a thing. Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon are going to be producing that show. So I guess
Triple H should just go start his own organization.
Because it wasn't it Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
It was. Shawn Michaels just came in. Honestly, to be honest with you, it was Triple H, Dusty Rhodes, and I would say Matt Bloom were and then Sarah Del Rey. I'd say those were the four.
Well, they're the trainers. They were training then. Dusty Rhodes was the one doing the
promos,
sure the guys the promo work, and
Triple H is he was the head. He was he was the mastermind.
He oversaw. Yeah, I don't understand. Here's my problem with all this. How does Triple H still have a good relationship with Vince McMahon? I understand Vince McMahon did this for him, but still, how do you have a good relationship still? I just don't see that relationship. It's kind of sour now. I can't see him being happy about this. You just pulled the rug under him. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see him being happy with this. And I'm not saying, and I'm not just saying because, I hate the W company. No, I don't hate the company. I actually want them to do well. I actually wish it was back to the Attitude Era because that was the best time for wrestling. But I don't know. I honestly believe, this company will not be better until, I hate to say it, Vince McMahon is dead because it really is.
Wow. Going to be. Why don't you just say retired, Pete?
Well, okay, but he will never retire.
Damn, man.
Taking a step back.
He'll never step back. He'll never step back, and he'll die on that chair, being the chairman of that company before he ever steps down and retires. Never.
Damn, Pete's harsh.
I'm just saying he never will. He's that type of person. Unless he sells a company, that's the only thing I can see him selling for a big chunk of money. I can see that him doing that, but I don't even see him doing that because I think Vince will never step down. And I think that's the problem with him, dude. In the long run, he'll never step down. He should have gave the reins to Triple H. He should have let him take over, just like his dad let him take over. But I don't see him ever doing. What's up, guys? So I honestly think that's, in the end of the day, he's the Jerry Jones of wrestling.
Yes, 100%.
The Jerry Jones of wrestling. He's his own worst enemy.
The Al Davis? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. He's if any guys who watch football understand that that's what Vince McMahon is. Straight up. A narcissistic, power hungry, control guy. Not saying he's a bad guy. There's some people who love Vince. And you know what? I like Vince in some ways, but he's his own worst enemy. He cannot keep away from his own from his own way. Dude, like for instance, there's a report that supposedly Raw had like 3 matches booked. I said I had all this script written for a week, and then he decides to come in there, Vince McMahon, and rip the scripts up. Right, like literally, the show's gonna start that day. He rips the script up on Monday and be like rewrites the whole show. It's like that's not a good, that doesn't have consistency with the show at all. And he does this all the time because he wants control. And this goes to show right here. And I'm sorry, dude. I actually really liked NXT. That for a fact, Dad. We really enjoyed NXT. And I hate to see this to happen to this to this because I actually
hates to see it, but since he hasn't watched in the last 2 years, he's part of the reason the ratings went down. Don't talk to me about it.
No. I gave up on it. You know why? Because I knew exactly how they looked at that company, at that thing. Every time somebody moved up,
maybe if everybody that looked at it the same way as you watched it, they wouldn't be in the same situation.
I don't think it has nothing to do with that. I just don't like
it. It totally does.
I don't like Vince McMahon running a company. I'd never liked Vince McMahon running a wrestling.
Here's the thing: when they lost to AEW, Vince took that personally. So that's what it is.
He should never. Okay, he should have kept it exclusively to WWE Network. That's his problem. He wanted to compete with AEW because he wanted
got money. Why would he keep it exclusive when he got paid from USA?
I understand that, but he didn't push it just so he can compete with AEW. He could have kept it exclusively. He could have kept it alone. As soon as it went on TV, that's when it wasn't going to be under Triple H's control anymore because he knew. That's all about the money to ratings.
And the reason is they couldn't compete with AEW wasn't because of Triple H. It was because the lack of, I don't want to say lack of talent, but the lack of big show feel. When you're watching one in there,
they weren't going on the road. They weren't putting money.
Yeah, when you're watching one show and when you watch AEW, it looks like Raw or SmackDown. When you watch NXT, it's inside the Performance Center.
Exactly,
100% it looks like 100% wrestling almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so how do you compete with that?
If they were on the road constantly, I guarantee they would have competed more. But I agree, they didn't do that. They didn't look at it that way. But
were they ever on the road?
Yeah, they did for a little bit. Not live, not like Raw though. They would do house shows.
I don't expect them to do like Raw things, but like house shows and
they were doing house shows
for their names to be actually out there and things.
Yeah, because there was a few times when we went to watch them live, we used to go to the really small shows and we would see the B and C people on the rosters because
We did see on one of the house shows. We saw Becky Lynch. We saw Sasha Banks.
Bianca Belair. Before she was even on TV, we seen Bianca Belair.
Yeah, Bianca Belair before she even became a big star. No, she was literally we never even seen her on TV. Yeah, Bianca Belair, Baron Corbin. We saw a lot of
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Yep.
The Revival or FTR. We saw Chad Gable. Yeah, just seen a lot of talent, actually. It was a pretty awesome experience, actually, now when looking back at it.
Roderick Strong, Velveteen Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good main event. That was a really good main event.
Very good main event. But
since then, it's just been there's nothing exciting from NXT recently.
Not really. I think that, there's still good stuff on there, but I feel like it's just they turn the wheels a lot on NXT. They don't ever really grow the show because it's still at the end of the day it's in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Well, I think the pandemic hurt too, though. I think the pandemic hurt. They couldn't go on the road because of the pandemic, so that kind of hurt also. I think the fact if they got on the road, maybe, and then they had a pandemic.
Yeah, they definitely, if they were touring and like you had a different crowd every night and you had a full crowd every night and you can play the crowd and you can do different things like that, I think it would have been a different story.
Okay.
It might have been. I still think AEW might have won in the end just because of. I felt like
it just depends on how much money they threw behind it. Like I don't know
that much money.
Yeah, I don't think they would have either. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
I'll say this. I would say that AEW probably wouldn't. I'm not just going from an outsider's perspective. I've been watching AEW. I've never watched NXT. From an outsider's perspective, it feels like AEW would have won out based on the fact of the star power it has on there. Like everybody, more people will know more about CM Punk and Christian and help me out.
Jericho,
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, Jericho.
Chris Jericho, and CM Punk alone. People will know those names more than they would know like Samoa Joe or
agree.
Whoever else.
But I think though, in the end of the day, I agree. I think the fact is like it's different when like the WWE is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Vince is a $1 billion company. Vince is going to always make money regardless.
And SmackDown's still like killing in ratings.
Yeah, exactly. They always have those TV contracts. Vince is always going to stay. The company's always going to stay afloat. But I think that's the difference. You have $1 billionaire backing up his two main shows. He wasn't backing up NXT as much as he was backing up those two main shows. And you have Tony Khan backing up, a billionaire backing up AEW. That's why NXT could not compete. Now that Vince McMahon has taken over NXT or whatever, Bruce Pritchard, the only good thing to come out of this is the fact that the people you see
they'll actually put money behind them.
They put money behind them to maybe make them stars. Now,
exactly.
It doesn't mean that people you're gonna see are people you might not want to start, because it might be those muscle-bound guys or those football players.
I could see him I could see a guy like LA Knight go through the roof, because that guy is like $1 million.
Yeah, you know what? But it's funny though. I noticed one thing about Vince. He definitely loves certain people. Like certain people he'll back. Like Roman Reigns, he'll push that guy to the moon.
But why wouldn't you? Like Roman, like Roman's like the best thing in the WWE right now.
He's the only thing in the company. He's the only thing.
No, get out of here, dude. Becky Lynch.
Okay, Becky.
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair,
Brock Lesnar.
I don't want to say Bianca Belair anymore. The way they treated her in SummerSlam, they made her lose like 1 second.
She lost one match, and that's going to define her whole career, dude. That
could define her whole career. They've done that before. It's the same with.
It's not like she's become the next Bo Dallas and be like, oh no, I lost one match.
But I mean, it's the same with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston was champion for 3-4 months, and then he lost Brock Lesnar about him in a couple seconds.
But let's be honest here, man. Because I know you watch your AEW. They do wins and loss records. They try to make it more realistic. In what freaking alternate reality, what if scenario does Kofi stand even a chance in a ring with Brock Lesnar? It does matter.
It's a premise. It's wrestling at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who's supposed to win the other guy. Rey Mysterio's, for God's sakes, a champion one time. He shouldn't have beat anybody.
Not being Brock Lesnar.
I'm just saying though, like in the end of the day, it's all about perception. I mean, really, in the scheme of things, Brock Lesnar beat everybody in under a minute. I mean,